We are at the Saskatchewan Railway Museum. This is just southwest of Saskatoon, which is the site of the former Eton internment camp.
Oh, I think the Fortitude Monument has been standing here for quite some time, but I would say roughly 4 years ago we were approached from the Ukrainian Canadian Congress if we would participate in creating a permanent plaque. And at the beginning we only had the text and put it on a plastic, so it was of course not permanent, but then it took some time to actually have it now in that permanent plaque, and so overall about 4 years. People have been living here for a long time and suddenly they were enemies. Most people didn't even know what happened, and then they were interned and forced labor. We are supposed to watch out that stuff like that will not happen again.
It's significant because it's part of Canadians' history. We are talking of our ethno-community or ethno-cultural community, which is important because they're part of us and part of our German community, but it's Canadian history. So people need to know and people need to learn, and down the road we're planning to have a permanent exhibition here at the Railway Museum. Again, so for families and for school classes to come here and get the education of what happened in Canada as well.
This is a site of internment. These individuals were called enemy aliens, or they were aliens of enemy nationality, people who came from lands at war with Britain and the Empire. And for multiple reasons, a lot of it had nothing to do with security, but had economic sort of reasons behind it. They were arrested and taken to places of internment in various camps across Canada. This was one such camp. This has a very peculiar story. This is at the end of the war, and individuals were being consolidated in various camps, but this was a work camp that they would work on the railways here. Now, many of these people ultimately were scheduled for deportation. These were enemy aliens that they didn't really know what to do with. And in 1919, the Spanish influenza outbreak, they brought them to this site in order to get away from a camp that actually had been infected. So it was only a short-lived camp. It was only in existence for about 6 weeks or thereabouts in 1919. One of the reasons why it was only short-lived was because although they were under guard and were liable of being shot, they took the chance of escaping, and several escapes took place at this site. Many of them beelined it for Saskatoon, and so they decided to close this camp in short order, and they rounded these people, took these people, placed them on railway cars, and sent them to Amherst, Nova Scotia, which was a more fortified internment camp. It was a more established camp, and at that point they decided what to do with them. Most of them were deported back to Europe.